Hello there, it's Carrie Rhoades here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. Today I am playing with the Beary Special Slimline stamp set, making this cool rainbow card. I had so much fun coloring with my Zig Cling Color Real Brush markers to create this scene. So we're going to start by stamping out this image. Look how cute this stamp is and how big. It covers a 8.5 by 3.5 card front, almost edge to edge. I'm using Bristol smooth paper and giving it a dusting with my anti-static powder tool, and I'm going to stamp up this image with my VersaFine Onyx black ink. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on the paper 2 times because I want to emboss this image with some clear powder. So stamping it twice is going to give me a really thick coverage of this ink that is a hybrid ink, so it has pigment in it which allows the ink to stay wetter longer, which is perfect for embossing. So since this image is so big, I'm gonna put it inside a folded in half piece of paper. So when I sprinkle the powder on, that clear powder is just gonna slide off into the fold of the paper, allowing me to pour it back in the jar very easily. Now I am melting that powder with my heat tool so that it becomes raised up and shiny. Next, I am bringing in the Hip to Be Square Slimline die and holding that in place with some low tack tape so I can die cut this, and then I'm going to slide it carefully off of my cutting plate, and then you'll see I have all the pieces in the squares. Next, I am having another piece of this lightweight tape and holding my little square in place so I can color in each of these squares. So I have 3 shades of red, and each time I'm coloring just a little bit at the top and then blending it out with my water brush. So it's going to go from dark red to medium red to light red. Now the next column is, you guessed it, orange, because I'm doing rainbow, and I'm doing the same thing with the darkest orange and then the mid and then the light. So each column is going to have a ombre effect, but then the rows going across will have a rainbow. So I just thought this was a really fun way to color in this image. I think that, you know, automatically you think you're going to color in all the things, and that look is super cool. There's lots of samples of that on the Trinity Stamps blog and also their shop, but I thought, you know, you don't always want to color things all the way in, so there's lots of different techniques that you can do with these kinds of stamps as well. So this is just one of them, and I love all things rainbow, and I just think that it's so cheery and it's a good message, so I thought it would be fun to do this. And when you are using the Zig Cling Color Row Brush markers, the best paper that you can use it on is Bristol Smooth. So if you have water brush markers like these or the Arteza markers and you do not have good results, then really think about getting some Bristol Smooth paper. The results are night and day. Now after I color these, I am trying to kind of give them a second, even blow on them to dry the ink before I lay it down, because remember, I am blending it out with a water brush, so it can stay wet for a minute. Also, any ink that collects on top of the embossing is not going to really dry. So you might want to just go over and like kind of dab off each square with the paper towel, and that will help reduce the accidental transfer of ink onto white parts of this card where you don't want it. And that did happen on this card. After I stopped filming, I actually got some of the red transferred over, and I used a sanding eraser to remove that. So don't freak out if it happens to you. You can always try to blend it out with your water brush, use a white gel pen, or use a sanding eraser if that does happen. So now we're on to the final color, pink, because there are so many rows in this, so many little squares from this Hip to Be Square die that I was able to do the entire rainbow plus pink, and that made me very happy. I loved it. So I'm just trying to lay these back in place so I don't get anything mixed up or out of order as I go. And there you see all the pieces. So I'm going to try and keep those in order. Now I'm going to take that Hip to Be Square die and I'm going to glue it onto my Slimline card base. That card base measures 8.5 by 7 and is scored at 3.5. So once I have that glued into place, now it's time to go ahead and paper piece in all my little rainbow squares, and I'm just going to go column by column, gluing them down. I used just glue, no foam adhesive, but you totally could pop these up for another look. I think that would be really cool. You also could pop up the frame itself and have this be a shaker card. That would be cool. I would totally put glitter in it, but I just thought it was cool like it is. But again, there's so many different options that you could go with using this technique, and this stamp itself is a pretty fun stamp set. There are some great sentiments in with this set, and I'm going to take the sentiment that says "You are Beary Special," and I'm going to stamp that up with some clear embossing ink, and then I'm going to sprinkle on some white embossing powder so this really stands up or off of that black paper. I'll heat set that with my tool just like I did on the background. I trimmed that down and I'm gonna pop it up onto my card with some foam strips, just like that. And that finishes off today's card. You could add some rainbow embellishments on this as well. But like I said, I wanted to keep it clean and crisp and simple today. Thank you so much for stopping by the Trinity Stamps channel. I will be back again next Saturday with another video featuring my favorites from Trinity Stamps. If you're new here, we would love for you to subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well, and I will see you all again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!